Today we'll take the journey to Utrecht area in Netherlands to meet Bas van de Haterd, 4 times award winner problem solver in open innovation. He is an entrepreneur, consultant, writer and professional speaker who loves cycling, fantasy books, ghost metal music and movies as the mood goes. He has family and plenty of friends. Bas is always on, and his areas of expertise go around marketing, recruitment and employer branding, and organizational and business development. In 2008, he organized a recruitment charity event where the Dutch recruitment industry got together and gathered €50,000 that was spent on education in Africa. Later, as a 2 years volunteer at TEDx Amsterdam, he helped get the sponsorships in. Regarding his close-to-heart projects, on top of the list there is his newest books, 10 Jobs That Will Appear and 10 Jobs That Will Disappear, and Taking Research International. He won several totally different types of challenges launched by different organizations, and it happened to be all in the spectrum of business. The problems Bas successfully answered are big ideas for unlocking the power of big data in pharma, afraid to talk about death, solutions to engage people in plan caring, transitioning customers to e-sales in business-to-business environment, seeking improved document identification and verification methods. There is a time difference bridge of 1 hour to reach Bas in Utrecht. Let's take the shortcut and meet him now. Good morning, Bas.
Good morning.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. What is your 10 Jobs book about? Why is it so close to your heart? And where can people find it?
Well, I wrote a book, 10 Jobs That Will Appear, 10 Jobs That Will Disappear, because I think it's very important for people to realize that the work they're doing right now will probably disappear, but it's not the biggest problem because new jobs will come as well. The big problem is that people are blindsided by the fact that they think they're irreplaceable. And educating people about staying educated, staying hungry for knowledge and changing, and changes that are coming is one of the things I think is very important. Hence, I wrote this book, and it's close to my heart because I hope it helps people realize their potential. It's only in Dutch. I made a specific choice to only publish this one in Dutch, but it's based on an Oxford research by Osborne and Frey, which is pretty well known, and if you Google it, you'll find the entire report. That's about what will disappear. And I'm pretty sure every nation has its own futurist who can say what will reappear.
Did it find its way in the educational system?
Yeah, I'm very happy to, especially the last couple of months, to hear how many teachers are taking this and saying, okay, so we're educating our children for jobs that will not be around by the time they graduate. And sometimes they come to me and they say, help us. What will they be doing? What should we educate them for? And that's one of the things I'm very enthusiastic about, yes.
How long did it take for you to put it all together? What inspired you to write it?
Well, the inspiration was the fact that it was finally time. I mean, I've been we've been talking about this subject, at least here in the Netherlands, for 5 years. And now, about 2 years after it was published, the 𝗲𝗏 research really got a traction, and it got mentioned in all the mainstream media, and even our Minister of Social Affairs and Labour Market quoted from it. And that was the moment I thought it's time to publish my book. I was writing it for a while. And actually how long it took, all in all, I think 40 hours.
Wow.
I'm a fast writer, and I have really good people surrounding me who did the editing and the design, and then it was, it took me 2 or 3 months, but if you look at the entire amount of hours, that's not that much.
Staying in this area of your close to heart projects, you said that taking research international is one of the things. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's not taking research as is international, but taking one of the researchers I set up about 10 years ago on what we call the digital candidate experience. So what is it like to apply at a certain company digitally? So how is the recruitment side? Do you get an answer? Stuff like that. And I've been doing that for a decade here in the Netherlands. Next we have our 10-year anniversary, and it's been done that well that internationally now people are asking, can we do this in Belgium? Can we do this in England? And apparently I did something really well, because let's be very honest, the fact that something Dutch, which is really easy to copy, is getting international attention is very interesting for me. And I like the fact that connecting the right companies with the right talent is another thing which I'm passionate about, and the fact that I set something up which is now going across Europe is something I'm really passionate about as well.
Let's talk now about your awarded solutions and about being a problem solver in open innovation. What were the problems you successfully solved in open innovation? The ones your solution were awarded by the Seekers organization?
Well, they were totally different. One of them was called Talking About Death. How do we get people to talk about death and do succession plans? One was about big data in pharma. One of them was about document recognition, and let me think, the fourth one was about converting customers to electronic sales.
How do solutions come to you, Bas?
Basically, they're just there. I read a problem and I think this is the direction it should take, and that's about it. And then you start fine-tuning it.
What open innovation platforms do you use?
Actually, only Innocentive. I've done our ID connection, but their challenges are usually not that good. Their communication is very bad as well. So the ones I actually participate in are from Innocentive.
Do you have a preference for a business solution? Do you also involve in common good type of solutions?
Well, I find business solutions or anything with business models and like that. That's where my expertise is. I do a lot of volunteer work here in the Netherlands as well. So, but not through open innovation.
Who are the seeking organizations of the country, the industry?
One company was a financial institution, one was a pharmaceutical company, and one was I think two foundations which were meant to promote things.
They were all from the United States, or do you know their country?
For some I don't know, and I know one was British, and the other three I assume were US, but I have no idea. They were anonymous.
When did you start to solve problems in open innovation?
I started 3 years ago because I was writing about it. I was writing in one of my earlier books about open innovation. And I thought, well, I should know what it's about, so let's try one. And yeah, that's why I started.
So you started because you were writing about it?
I was writing and I was interested in what is it actually, what is it like? I mean, if you're advising people to use it, you should have done it at least once yourself. To answer your next question, why did I continue? Well, I won the first one, and the kick of winning was so big that I thought, you know,
why not?
If you win the very first challenge, it gave me such an adrenaline rush. I was like, well, let's do this again. So I did.
And you won again?
And then I won again, and I lost a couple, and I won a couple.
So you practically won 4 times in 3 years?
Yeah, I won 4 times in, I think, 3 years, 8 challenges in total on an incentive.
Do you still solve problems coming from open innovation?
Yeah, I still solve if there's a really cool challenge and if I have the time.
What motivates you to continue to solve open innovation challenges?
It's cool. It challenges me. For me, it's education as well. These days, I try to form a team or something around me. Some people who know more about the subject matter. We try to solve it, and that's for me an interesting way to learn.
You mean to solve as a group, as a more diverse group? Oh, okay. What are the first 3 motivations, intentions that inspires you to engage in open innovation, problem solving?
Well, first of all, the learning aspect. It challenges me to think on subjects I would usually not think about. The second one is the well, of course, the adrenaline kick of winning, and well, the money is interesting as well sometimes.
How many solutions did you solve in total in open innovation?
18 on an incentive, and I did 1 on ID connection at a certain time.
Now let's talk a little about open innovation. How do you feel about open innovation market? Do you think it will evolve? Does it have a future?
Seth Godin once wrote in one of his books, everybody's brilliant, just not all of the time. So I think the brilliant ideas need to come from open innovation. There's always somebody with a better idea. And if you get those people to share those ideas, you can work on them. The interesting part is that the idea itself is usually between 5 and 10% of the solution. The rest is just freaking hard work. What we seem to get is that people who are actually capable to do the work are not always the people who also have the best ideas. Hence, open innovation can give you new ideas. I don't think it's a substitute for research and development, but a really good addition.
What things do you think could be improved when it comes to open innovation solving?
Well, one of the things I've ran into myself a few times is the selection of who actually judges the ID. I've seen a few challenges on which I'm pretty sure what I would consider to be the best idea would not have won. I've had one which was about, which had a big IT component, and you could see in the way they wrote the questions, they had absolutely no idea what they were asking. And in that case, you can see that their knowledge of the subject matter was too low, so they're not able to judge the right idea as well. I've also seen ideas about entrepreneurship coming out of for example, the European Commission, in which they announced the judges, and there were a lot of scientists in there. I don't think a scientist has the idea about what entrepreneurs need, because else he would have been an entrepreneur. And what you usually see with those challenges, if you look at the winners, they're mostly scientists as well. So it's more about how it's written down than the actual idea, which I think is not good for open innovation.
Do you think it's important for us as solvers to know who the evaluators are, the judges? I mean, I did some professional references about them.
Well, I don't think it's important to know who they are, because you can actually then manipulate it in a certain way. I do think it's important for the platform to make sure they are experts on the subject. So if you're having a challenge about entrepreneurship, the main judges should be entrepreneurs. If you have a challenge which involves a big IT development component, and maybe not even the code in this, or the design, you should have people in there knowledgeable enough to know what they actually want. I don't think we need to know who the judges are. No.
You know, some solvers have this dream to be part of their solutions, part of the implementation and development process of their awarded solutions. And seekers don't really engage them in this process furthermore after the awards. What kind of motivation do you think that a seeker may need to engage the solver further in the process as a, let's say, part-time consultant or anything like that?
Well, I'm not sure if the solver needs to be in line with the seeker. I think everybody has his role in a cycle, and some people are very good at thinking up ideas, but then are a lot less good in actually executing them. So I'm not sure if it's the right thing. I think actually trying to get out people in their strength, trying to get the real talents out of people is very good.
In your opinion, what's the next thing after open innovation?
Well, I think we're in an infancy stage right now, meaning open innovation has been around 5 or 10 years. We're just figuring out what it's going to be. I hope personally it's going to be very much a standardized part of innovation. That companies will look out, will ask questions. I hope they're gonna decide to generally outsource the most difficult part of the project.
How will innovation be done in 10 years from now?
I think it's going to be much more in smaller teams. I think we're going to data is going to provide us with a more accurate model.
How did becoming an awarded problem solver in open innovation change your life? What changed after you started winning awards in open innovation?
Well, in part, I think it validated me. I always thought I had pretty good ideas, and actually winning them and being the best out of hundreds of people that send an idea in validated me in thinking that I do have good ideas. Maybe it made me even a bit more arrogant. I don't know.
I don't think so. So they strengthen your self-esteem in the professional zone.
Yeah, in part I think yes.
Made you more daring.
Well, what happened a few times, which was very interesting, is it made me happy. it made me very, very happy. I was at a certain last year. I had a business slump of a couple of months. The clients were just not getting in, and I won a challenge, and it gave me a kick. And for some reason, if you're more positive, you also get in. Clients, normal Dutch clients, figure that out, get a good vibe, and so it helps get through certain business slumps as well.
Do your clients know anything about incentive, open innovation? How do you manage to uplift the value of the awards in front of your clients, to make them realize there's value in that awards?
No. Usually they're not interested. When I give lectures or when I write books, I mention it.
If we were to send some messages to the world's influencer and general public, for example, what's your message to human resource people and to headhunters?
Well, in human resources, I think you should think about solving a problem, not about getting people in there. Human resources isn't only about the resources within your company, it's about total human resources, so your total network around your company. And they should solve problems for their company by using the right tools. And I think open innovation should be much more on their radar for binding talent to your organization and actually using the talent at the right moment in the right stage.
What's your message to the board of executives, to the leaders, influencers, financiers?
Pretty much the same, actually. Use the talent that's there. Use talent at the moment they're really talented. Like Seth Godin said, everybody's brilliant, just not all of the time. Use the talent, use open innovation, use people that are surrounding your company, not just in your company.
What's your message to the university leaders, to the educational system?
The educational system should teach for jobs that have not developed yet. The most important skill anyone is to learn. To keep on learning, keep on developing yourself. And it doesn't matter how you learn, and it doesn't matter if you work for a company or if you're self-employed, you should be learning and developing yourself. And that's the main thing they should do. And then open innovation is a part of that. Innovation, teaching people to learn, makes people innovate.
What would you say to problem solvers and to the worldwide talented professionals regarding open innovation? Why to join open innovation?
Well, I think the people who are already doing it, spread the word. Tell people about what you're doing. Tell people that you're many. Just get more people involved, because the more brilliant minds there are, the more companies will bring in new challenges. I think that's one of the main and keep on doing it. Just keep on going and be realistic about what your values are. Be realistic where you add value to the process. Are you good at thinking up the idea? Are you good at executing it? Are you good at helping others? Find that out.
Where can people reach you, Bas? To ask you questions, to buy your book?
Well, my third book, called Revolution of Work, is actually available on the Kindle store. Just Google my name there and you'll find it. It's called Revolution of Work. And my Dutch site is on @𝗏𝗏.nl, and my email address is actually my first name @my_last_name.nl, and they can always give me an email.
Thank you very much, Bas, for your time. It was a very nice experience talking to you.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, solvers are ordinary people, but their choice to engage in making things better reveals their exceptional characters. And by making this step forward, solvers bring the act of continuous learning to the next level. We are solvers. We take innovation personally.